Oilers Nation After Dark begins now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got them. Earlier tonight, I said the two best words in the English language were Game 7. No. I stand corrected. They're Oilers win, because that's what we do tonight, baby. Backs against the wall, do or die, Game 7. They never said it'd be easy. They never said it would be without stress. If you check my watch, and pretty much every one of us watching that game tonight at Greta said, seek medical attention, please sit down, lay down. To every notification I got, I said, fuck off. I don't want any part of that. Tonight's about the Edmonton Oilers. Tonight's about moving on to the third round, brother, as the Edmonton Oilers defeat the Vancouver Canucks by 1 goal. A little tighter than we would have liked in Game 7 of the second round to move on to the Western Conference Finals. Stick taps in the chat right now, people. I say it all the time, but if this isn't the most like Oilers Nation After Dark episode we've done all season, then what the fuck are we doing here? I've already cursed twice. I got to slow that down. And if we don't, I might riot, very similar to how I expect the city of Vancouver to riot later tonight. But hello and welcome to Oilers Nation After Dark. After a dub and after Brett, an absolute party inside Greta Bar tonight, people. Don't worry, we're going to get the sign coming up a little bit later. You know it's coming around right now, but I'm joined by the man. He's back. It's Brett and Bordsy. We're bringing out the big guns for a Game 7 victory. Brett Holden, my co-host. Vibes on a million right now?
Oh, my God. They are absolutely out of the ballpark, baby. I couldn't believe it.
Check the glass?
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Wore this Game 6? No, I had to wear them Game 7. No, the vibe, they're absolutely starting to back up here in Greta. Game 7, this city's going to start to just absolutely run this place uptown. I can't wait for it, baby.
I love how we do these shows all the time late. In fact, right now, 10 p.m. Buddy, this is early as shit. This is fantastic. And you wouldn't know it by looking out at the bar right now, because it's an incredible vibe. Brett, Greta Watch Parties, we're here for every road game throughout the playoffs. We've had some absolutely lit evenings in this place. Tonight, I said Monday nights, long weekend. It's at the end. I don't know how motivated Nation citizens are going to come out. Boy, was I wrong on that one, because this place was packed to shit before I even finished pre-gaming. And I got to say, I'm going to toot my own horn here. That was my best hyping up on the crowd. That was my best hype man we've done all playoffs so far. And dude, what'd you think of Greta tonight? I don't want to leave here.
No, it was electric.
I'm going to sleep.
You normally do, but it was absolutely electric tonight. It was absolutely electric tonight. And again, like, this place, this city shows out during the game, before the game, and tonight, after the game, Game 7 win. Oh, this is the place to be. Edmonton Oilers Game 7 victory. How can you not feel better? Where else would you rather
That's what I kept saying. Where else would you rather be? I don't know why. I doubted the Nation citizens. Because this place is going right now. They're clearing out the D floor. And Monday night feels like Friday night right now. We're also joined behind the scenes, Patrick Buck.
Yes.
He's managing the cinch. Pat, vibe check?
Vibe check, absolutely electric. I'm seeing people piling in from outside right now. All the people from the Moss Pit rolling in. Music's loud. Vibes extremely high.
I see somebody in here right now said shirts off, boys. And this is as close as you're going to get the tarps off. You know what? I'll make a personal guarantee. We move on to the Stanley Cup final.
That's what I was going to say.
Tarps off.
Yep.
I'll guarantee that myself. Guarantee. You can shoot me from up here. You can hide my gut. What are you looking at? Don't look at my gut. Don't want any part of that. People, come in the chat right now. Let me know. Mark says Canuck fans are crying. Bob Stoffer's in there. Said Dylan is a legit threat now. Dylan Holloway was incredible tonight. But Brett, he's not here with us right now, live and in the flesh. But we wouldn't celebrate an Edmonton Oilers Game 7 victory without one of the OGs of this very company. Let's bring him in right now. The bag of milk himself. He got the tarps off memo.
Boys.
They are flexed to the nth degree. Bag milk. How we doing right now, brother?
Feeling good, man. How can you not? Like, I mean, if we're being honest, the old butthole was a little puckered for the final 10 minutes of that game, but how could you not be excited about the way the Oilers started it? They were out on the road. They pushed the pace. They got all kinds of shots and chances on Vancouver, and frankly, had it not been for Seelovs, this thing would have been a blowout. You love to see the way the Oilers went into this game, got the job done. They had their legs going, and even when things got tough in the end, they still managed a way to skate through it fine and get the win. So this is just a huge night. I'm pumped. I'm pumped, Aaron.
I'm happy you're here with us back now. We were checking on heart rate throughout the entire evening here at Greta. What was your peak heart rate?
Peak heart rate was up around 138. 138. I don't know if that's a normal thing that should be happening. I don't do cardio very often, but I feel like I've gotten a workout. I'm probably not going to sleep for 3 to 4 days. It was pumping.
Why would you want to sleep right now? The vibes are incredible. I want to live in this. I want to bathe. I want to soak in victory right now. Oh, and every bit of this, it's incredible. But Banknote, you mentioned there, and that's one thing I want to talk about to start with the Oilers tonight is they played desperate. They played a desperation style of hockey. You could tell in the first period. Every time there was a scramble out in front of the net, bodies, diving, laying in front of pucks, active sticks all over the place. Everybody was going the extra mile defensively, even offensively. I thought the physicality was brought up. I also mentioned earlier, you know when this team is feeling it and they're dialed in throughout? When you see Leon Draisaitl willingly going down in front of a clapper and taking it right into the leg, Connor McDavid was blocking shots. I mentioned Dylan Holloway was a fucking buzzsaw tonight. He was all over the ice. But Banknote, would you agree? The Oilers, they played desperate. They played backs against the wall hockey on pregame. And I said, there is no tomorrow. Well, there is now. I'm going to be dealing with that hangover tomorrow. The future Boardsy can deal with that. What can you say about the Oilers' desperation tonight?
In game 5, they had the chance to go into Vancouver, come up with a big win, and then bring it back to Edmonton for an elimination game. But they didn't come out with any kind of gas. They didn't have any juice. They didn't have their legs going. They didn't have any urgency. And tonight, that was not the case. Right from the time the puck dropped, the Oilers had their wheels going. They were shooting pucks on net. They were getting towards the net, and they were just trying to manufacture chances any way they could. And more importantly, the back checking, the back pressure was just as hard as they were going into the offensive zone. The Oilers had their details dialed in through about 50 minutes of this hockey game. You love to see that. Up until about, up until the McLeod.
Good point. Yeah.
Up until we get to the McLeod giveaway, and I know we'll get there eventually, the Oilers were basically playing a perfect road game. There's not a whole lot more you could have asked from them at that point.
This is going to be a great part of the championship DVD that comes out a couple months from now. But Brett, I just mentioned desperation hockey. We talked about Bagnell. Can you mention it in your game day article as well? As I thought that's something the Oilers did well in game 6 at least. Simple hockey. We always talk about simple Daryl. Well, I feel like the whole team did breakouts. Give your guys somewhere to pass to. Simplify. Brett, simple game, simple dub tonight.
Well, and the biggest thing for me too is that they allowed those 2 late goals there. Nobby called the timeout. And after that, the TV timeout came through, and that was a totally different team from the prior 5 minutes that they just had. They were out there in the corner, battling it in offensive corner, defensive corner. They were battling every zone entry, and it came down to simple hockey. You're going into the corner, and all you're doing is standing there on the puck. Hey, this is mine. Oh, you're Connor Brown. This is yours. It was very simple hockey, and that's how you win Game 7 1-goal playoff game. It's simple hockey. They got away from it a little bit in that little cheeky pass up to McLeod. He bobbled it there. But again, simple hockey, you win games, win a playoff.
I know my mom's been a topic of after our chat because she comes to Greta. Pat, I wish they could have seen what your dad did right there. Best hat, best outfit, and he was just shaking his booty behind the camera, getting it going. Another big storyline tonight, Bagnell, coming into it, obviously. Stuart Skinner. We said, I'm going to quote Jason Demers here earlier on Oilersnation Every Day. Chris Knoblaw has elephant-sized balls was the term he went with. We saw that going into Game 6. We saw that switching up B pairing, splitting up 97-29. I love the commitment to go with Stuart Skinner. Once again tonight, Stu, he did everything he needed to do. 15 saves, 17 shots against. Save percentage does start with an 8, with an 882. But Bagnell, what can you say about Stuart Skinner? I thought he was good to start the game. Obviously, the wheels fell off there for a little bit in the final 10 minutes, but they hunkered down, and a win's a win, brother. We've been hard on Stuart Skinner, saying we need Calvin Pickard like goaltending. This seems like Calvin Pickard put up these numbers. We'd be singing his praises right now. Stuart Skinner, biggest game of your life, fair to say, and he delivered.
Yeah, I mean, we needed Stu to come up with some big moments. And even though he wasn't nearly as busy as Seelofs at the other end, that's not to say that he didn't have to make some big saves as well. He was in there, he was steady, and even the 2 goals that beat him, like, let's be honest, the first one came as a horrific giveaway. I know we're going to talk about it later. The second one was that score effects, man. When the Canucks got that first goal, that place started buzzing, and you knew they were going to push over the final, whatever it was, like 5, 6, 7 minutes, whatever it was. You knew it was going to happen. You knew they were going to throw everything on net. So I wasn't surprised to see him get that second one. But that was all Stu gave up. He made a couple of saves when he needed to. Stuart Skinner is the guy that got you to the playoffs. You've got to ride him through. And it seems like that little break with 2 games that Pickard played was what he needed, because he wasn't spectacular tonight, but he got the job done.
Knoblaw. Somebody said Knob to steal just in here right now. I thought I had to shout that one out as well. But Brett, another good move by Nobby was the timeout later. I thought throughout most of this series that Chris Knoblaw unfortunately was being outcoached by Rick Tocchet. But the more the series moved along, and I understand the Canucks are playing a third-string goalie, they're missing their number 1 goal scorer tonight, but I don't give a shit. I'm not making excuses. I thought tonight Nobby, great coach, but more importantly, what do you think of Stuart Skinner, brother?
Stuart Skinner was exactly what you needed from him. It was exactly what you needed from him. And last game was great. 1 goal on however many shots on him, or whatever it was off the top of my head. But again, bounce back with another great.
Good, a good game.
I still think it
could be great, yeah.
But like Bagnell said, it was a terrible giveaway, dead ass in the spot. What else is he supposed to do? He could have went backwards and had the exact same opportunity to make that save. So, and again, we said it as soon as everything happened in the replay. He was screened to the 9 on that point shot. So you can only save what you can see. That wasn't one that he could see. I think he made every possible save that he could have and should have, and that was exactly what you needed from Stuart Skinner.
Absolutely. I see Bob Stoppers in the chat, and he says, yeah, we should probably address McLeod. We will talk about it more in depth when we get to the scoring summary. But Bagmilk, let me present it this way. When that one went in, after the most unforced error you've ever seen before, heart rate check, nerve check, because you could feel it. Greta, absolutely bumping all night. But that one went in, and you could feel the tide turning. I said it to you and Pat, second intermission. We're up 3-0. You've never seen a man more stressed out. I'm just pacing around outside, quoting, as Bagmilk, you know, Kobe Bryant, job's not finished. But the point I was making was that we've seen this Edmonton Oilers movie before where they're pedal to the metal, go, go, go for 40 minutes. They have a lead. We saw it up 4-1 earlier in this series. And then their game is shocked. The best defense for the Oilers is a good offense. Kind of felt like they took the pedal off the metal there, and you saw McLeod give that one up. Connor Garland back of the net almost immediately. Where were your nerves at that point, Bagno?
I mean, they were already sky high before the McLeod mistake. So as soon as that goal went in, I kind of looked at my missus and I was like, all right, game on now. Because you knew as soon as that was going on, up until that point, the crowd was out of it. That place was quiet. You were hearing Stu chants in the crowd. And at that point, you kind of go, okay, the Oilers are in control. But then you never know when an error is going to happen. And unfortunately, Ryan McLeod, he had a clear lane to get that puck out of the zone. He duffed his shot. He kind of whiffed on it. And Garland made he picked up the goal. So it was in that moment you just kind of go, all right, we got a game now. Let's see how the Oilers respond, because you knew that the Vancouver Canucks were going to push. You knew that place was going to be buzzing right up until the final buzzer. So it was not a mistake you want to make. And like going forward, simple plays again, like make sure that you've got a firm stick up. Don't admire your work before it's done. And I think that Ryan McLeod was kind of looking too far up ice on that one when you really just kind of needed to make a clean play out of the zone.
Contrary to popular belief, you have to put your stick on the puck to properly pass it out of the zone. But Brett McLeod, he's been tough offensively, 5v5. I believe he still has 0 points in these NHL playoffs. But he's been a menace defensively, but that turnover isn't the only mistake he made as well tonight. Takes a 4-minute high sticking minor, double earlier in the game, double minor. Yeah, I fucked that up twice. Attaboy, Borty. Pat on the back, but he gets a stick up on Elias Pettersson, and one storyline, and we'll get into it more as we move to the good, bad, and oily. The Edmonton Oilers penalty kill was dialed in tonight. That was almost TSN turning point in itself. It wasn't the end of the first period because they still had 14 seconds to start the second. I got on the mic the moment the first period ended, and I got this place going because you could feel it, the tide turning and everybody going, man, I don't know if they're going to score on Skinner on any of these opportunities right now, but McLeod has a brutal mess up there. But special teams, special plays, special players. Brett, penalty kill was unreal.
Hey, and penalty kill was unreal. And that's, again, like it goes to, that's how you win these playoff games. You're not going to be perfect for 60 minutes. You're not. How can you supplement those mistakes that you make? Whether you want to go to that McLeod high stick or the McLeod giveaway there, it's just a matter of how you respond in those 60 minutes. So special teams, and especially for a team who's deemed as power play merchants or whatever have you, or whatever that saying is.
It's what it is, brother. I don't call. They don't ask how. They ask how many. It can be special teams.
And tonight, special teams was what, perfect? They were perfect, weren't they? So it's again, that's how this Edmonton Oilers team has proven they can win those 5-1 games or 6-0 games, and they can win those 1-0 games like they did against LA, or 3-2 games like they did in Game 7 of the second round.
K. Waddy said it best in the chat. PK merchants.
Oh, dang
love
it.
that one. I'm so sick of that word, but I love it right there from K. Waddy. Bag milk. The PK for the Edmonton Oilers. They're catching fire right now, and they have earlier in the playoffs in round one. It's the LA Kings. Hey, say what you might. Sure, the Canucks were without Brock Besser tonight, but in previous games, really seems like the PK is finding their game right now.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think of the double minor to McLeod at the end of the first period. Did the Canucks even get a shot on those 4 minutes? I don't think they did. And if they did, there was probably like a single. It was a masterclass in how to aggressively penalty kill in that 4 minutes, because at that point in the game, it was still tied 0-0. And if Canucks got on the board, who knows the way the rest of the game plays out. But the PK came through. They came through clutch. The Oilers got a goal on the power play when they needed one the most. That is a special team sweep. And all throughout this series, you can say whatever you want about the Oilers and their power play. They also got the job done without it, because they got one goal on the power play. They got two at even strength. So when it mattered most, the Oilers executed at a higher level than the Canucks, and that included on the PK. They just did great work. Plus, Aaron, you said it earlier, guys were diving in front of shots. Didn't matter who it was. According to the NHL's box score, the Oilers had 21 block shots, but even that feels light. That feels light, you know what I mean? So it was just a really solid defensive effort from a team that's mostly known for their offense.
I see Calvin Pickett's in the chat right now. You were great for us all series long. He says, Canucks fans in here saying they're still the better team. So delusional. I don't think they're the better team. I think if you straight up look at these rosters, me and Ty kept saying it tonight on pregame, and you look at these on paper, obviously the game is not played on paper, but the Oilers have the skill advantage. I thought they had the advantage on defense. Special teams, absolutely. Goaltending, still up in the air, still to be determined on that one, but I don't know. I just felt that the Oilers tonight, they were the better team. They had their skilled players outweighed the Canucks skilled players. I mentioned they're without Brock Besser and whatnot, but
you can only beat who's in front of you.
Thank you.
There's nothing you can do. You're not in their injury room or their medical
I don't give
room.
a shit.
No, just it's you can only beat what's in front of you, and it's going to be the same for Dallas. If a Sagan goes down, if Wyatt Johnston goes down, careful. You can only beat what's in front of you, and that's part of playoffs. That's part of winning a championship. Is hey, sometimes they're going to lose guys, sometimes you're going to lose guys. All you can do is supplement whatever. I think that's the second time I said supplement.
Good work.
I'm not working out. I don't know why I keep saying supplement.
Tarps off. Let's go.
Oh, careful. But again, that's all you can do to try and supplement what you're doing.
I mentioned earlier today on Oilersnation Every Day, and it kind of felt like, also shout out Chris Rooney, because the Oilers won a hockey game. We barely even talked about that today. But I mentioned on the injury front, right? As you said, you only play who you play. And that clip, Bag Milk, did you see of Johnny Lazarus earlier today on Morning Cup of Hockey? Favorite part of that clip is they cut to Tyler's face for a second, and he goes, what the fuck?
Stink face.
Just like, what? If you didn't see it, Johnny Lazarus said that he felt the Oilers in this situation, craziest take I've ever heard, that the Oilers were in a lose-lose situation tonight. But if they lost, they obviously would lose. But even if they won, then it would be a Mickey Mouse series win because the Canucks are without Brock Besser. They're without Thatcher Demko. My retort to that is the Toronto Raptors won the 2019 NBA championship. KD went down. Klay Thompson went down. Does the banner still hang up in Scotiabank Arena, Brett?
Yeah.
I think it does, so I don't apologize for that. Mickey Mouse, I thought that was – I live on the internet. I follow freezing cold takes. That one was at new levels. Tune in to Morning Cup of Hockey, especially tomorrow. If you want to throw some chirps in the chat, Johnny, Colby, they'll take it. But Bag Milk, Mickey Mouse, my ass.
Haters gonna hate, man. You gotta lock in your wins no matter how you get them. It doesn't matter who's on the ice. Brett said it. You want the Oilers to allow the Canucks to play with 6 skaters or something? Like, what is it that you want them to do? Do you want them to try less to win? They got the job done. It was a game 7 in Vancouver. Vancouver got the matchups they wanted. They got the final change. Let's not pretend that this was just an easy route through. Johnny, I don't know what you're talking about, man. He's such a Rangers homer that he's got blinders on, and that's fine. We're homers too. We're biased. It's the way it goes. But let's be honest. The Canucks, you got to give them some credit. But the wins that they got, 2 of them, you could argue that it was because the Oilers shot themselves in the foot. So the Oilers had to pick up 5 wins, essentially 6 wins in this series to actually get the job done because they kept screwing themselves. And it was just nice to see they got it done tonight. So Johnny can say whatever he wants. The Oilers moved on just like they should have.
Yep, absolutely. Brett, what do you got here for me?
Bruce Kurlock, great guy.
Great guy.
He tweeted this, 4:36. The Canucks made it 3-2 on their 17th shot of the game. They finished with 17 shots. Do I want the 4 minutes back? Sure, but at least the team gave their due.
Try that again, Brett.
Yeah, but at least give the team their due. That was serious defensive chops. So,
give it to me, people. Brett, you take the cup first.
This is awesome.
You're the captain, baby.
Let's go.
And Pat, I just saw you throw it in the chat right now. From clown nose to conference finals, people.
Yeah.
If you were here with us at 2-9-1, you remember I wore a goddamn clown wig and a clown nose and said, I don't know what's going to go on this year, Brett. I don't want to celebrate small victories, but I'm going to anyways. You enjoy every victory, every step of the way.
I didn't know. Lift it. I want to lift it, too.
You give it a kiss.
I bummed mine.
Oilers in 7, straight facts, only science here at Greta Bag Milk. I pulled out earlier a disco ball. I have a sign. The props on props right now.
Got more props.
Greta is the place to be right
This
now.
Carrot Top?
What a night.
this is fantastic tonight. And again, it's just piling up, man. I love this place. I love it after an Oilers win.
I've even enjoyed it after some losses. It's been the vibe continues. I mentioned the end of the party, got it all going, hyping up the crowd, and I said, hey, according to my calculations, I'll see y'all back here on Thursday night when the Edmonton Oilers are back on the road in Dallas. But you know what, gentlemen? Let's get into it with the Greta scoring summary brought to you by Greta Bar Yag, the spot to watch a game in Edmonton. You're going to give me another place? I don't care. I don't want to hear it. You are not going to have a better vibe than Greta. Brett, you mentioned earlier, I basically live here. They used to have a bed in this very spot, and I went, where'd you guys move my bed? Is it up like a Murphy bed? It falls out of the wall? No, I got to make my way back home, back to the office later. But Greta put on a hell of an event. We'll be here all playoffs long. Every single road game, we get prepaid shots. There's bubbles on a bubble gun. Right
yes. Is it Andy?
Kennedy, I'm going to need that bubble gun in a minute. I'm going to need that. But as I said, we'll be here every road game. We'll be back on Thursday. Does that mean Saturday Bag Milk should be game 2?
I think so. That makes sense based on just kind of the regular rhythm of it. And you know that the NHL wants to get this thing going. They've been waiting for the next series to kick off. So I imagine that we've got a tight turnaround here. We know they're going to start on Thursday, but I don't know what the schedule says. I'm going to guess Saturday. And then what? A Saturday night at Greta? Does it get better than that to watch an Oilers road win in Dallas? Come on.
The only way it gets better, Brad, is if we go tarps off on that one. But a deal's a deal. It's only if we win. Mention here, look at the schedule. Wednesday, Friday, Panthers, Rangers, and Sunday. I'm no scientist, but there's holes to fill, and I think that comes on Thursday and Saturday. So if you missed this one, you've missed a number of our parties so far. Don't worry. We're going on a 2-month run. There's going to be lots of opportunities. Let's take a look at the first goal of the evening because, of course, it was scored by Cody Ceci. We give out pucks here at Greta that whenever your guy scores a goal, you win prizes. The Cody Ceci table was not thrilled they had their puck. Turns out, boom, the guy was celebrating so hard. He's like, Borty, look. But you see it here. Blast one from the point. Beats Shelov's clean. Beautiful shot from Cody Ceci. And that's the thing, man. We talked about bag milk in this series. Honestly, felt like it kind of switched a little throughout the series. At first, power play was dominant. Couldn't get depth scoring. Then all of a sudden it changes. Power play can't score, but you were getting depth. Holloway, Yan, Mark Kaner. Tonight, you got it all. But Cody Ceci, did you have that on your bingo card?
Oh, well, I didn't, but you know what, Aaron? Maybe we should have. If you think back to Game 7 against the Kings, it was Cody Ceci who got the boys on the board, and just like tonight, it was fucking Cody Ceci that gets the boys on the board. So maybe we should have expected Cody Ceci to be Mr. Game 7, like he's Justin Williams. But man, what a shot. He couldn't have placed that better if I drew that thing up in a wet dream. Like that thing was right under the hit the bottle. What else do you want from Cody Ceci? It was a fucking snipe. You'll love to see it. And to get through to the third round, to get through to the Western Conference Finals, you need guys to step up that aren't likely to do so. And I couldn't think of a better guy to do it than the one everyone wanted to get out of town at the trade deadline. So a lot of love to Cody Ceci. Team kept him around, and he comes up with a huge goal again for the second time as an Oiler in Game 7.
Dude, hand up accountability. I was one of those guys, not pushing him out of town, but I wanted the Chris Tanev. I thought at points he's been a detriment to the decor.
You had him on a map.
Yeah, I did have him on a map. Absolutely. There's nothing I love more than sitting on After Dark and eating my words about a player on the Oilers that I have talked shit about. I know Tyler loves it too, but Brett, he's in the chat right now. Cody Ceci says, I had it on my bingo card. Did you?
Oh, I bet you did. I bet you did. I sure as heck didn't, but and that's good. Just like Bag Milk said, like you need the guys who aren't supposed to be the guys to step up in Game 7, and that's exactly what happened. You had numerous guys who needed to. Did you hit it,
Brett? I literally have a bingo card in front of me. You can't see this, but I have a shout out to What Chaos. They made bingo cards and they put numbers for goal scorers.
Yep.
Is that a number 5 right there?
That sure is a number 5.
Did I just hit that? I did have it on my bingo card.
That's
never mind, people. There we go. Cody Ceci. It's a great story. You know, everybody in the room loves him. A lot of guys didn't want him to go. You know, he's pretty sure his wife's close with all the wags too, and everything like that. She's a part of the group. He's been a part of this unit forever. He moved down to the third pairing, which was necessary, and I stand by. And boom, look at that. He shows up, shows out, gets a beautiful goal. Is that his second of the playoffs?
Yeah.
Clutch gene, brother. He's got the clutch gene. We now take a look, though, at the second goal of the game, which I have Zach Hyman written down. And, Pat, I believe we have audio for this.
Hyman hands it off. Nugent Hopkins has got it. Here's Bouchard. And he'll let it fly. Scores! Evan Bouchard!
Bing! Is there any better sound than hearing that? We did a sound up on the last Oilers Nation After Dark with a blast from the point. The Oilers, though, they had the Canucks hemmed in there for over a minute, I believe, at that point. You could tell the Canucks retired. Hyman sends the puck back up to the point. Evan Bouchard absolutely rips that bad boy. And according to my app, Zach Hyman scored his 11th goal of these playoffs. Hard to see it on that one. Sounds like something Zach Hyman would do, but Bag Milk, just a blast from Evan Bouchard. I was singing his praises on pre-gaming. I think it's fair to say we are watching Evan Bouchard become the leader of this decor, of this defensive unit. It's Ben Ekholm. You've had Nurse. He wears the letter. But Bouchard has been physical. He's been tough. I said earlier, he's been arrogant hockey. Calling Connor Garland too little was awesome. We know what he does offensively, obviously. Nobody has a weapon like his shot left in these playoffs. I know Zach Hyman gets the tip on that one, gets the credit, but Evan Bouchard, that Bouch bomb, as I just said, is something that does not grow off trees and not most teams have, and he just lets those things rip from the point, my guy.
And he does a great job of getting pucks through traffic. Like that one it wasn't the big heater that we normally expect from him, but he finds a way to get it through. He throws it into the areas where you want the puck to be. And Zach Hyman eventually got his stick on it and got the goal. But you just love watching Evan Bouchard on the offensive side of the puck. He is just a wizard with it on his stick, and the way he has moved the puck around and I know he's probably banged up, and we're going to hear what's actually going on with Quinn Hughes here over the next day or so. But Evan Bouchard outproduced him by a country mile, and that's a guy who's likely going to win the Norris Trophy this year. So you just love to see it from Bouchard. I also thought he was really solid in a two-way game. He didn't make the glaring, game 5, he made the one error that everybody was hanging on him. But like outside of that, he was really responsible with the puck on his stick. And you love to see him blossom in that role because the Oilers need him to play big minutes, and to have him handle it the way he did in this series was a lot of fun to watch. He's turning into such a stud, and I can't wait to watch him another year on this $3.9 million deal, because somebody is going to be backing up a handful of Brinks trucks for him when this deal is over. Good Lord.
Absolutely. I see Lucan is in here right now, and he said, no. Boosh blast. Come on, guys. If you remember, that was the call in the previous game when he scored.
Oh.
Everybody in Oilers Nation was, what the hell are you doing calling that a Boosh blast? I see Calvin Pickard in here. The shin pad assassin. It's the net. I don't want to hear shin pad assassins again, but that does make me laugh. But Brett, I just mentioned it. Bouchard, we know the offensive touch he has. Obviously, not many like him out there. But would you agree when I said his defensive game and his ownership of this D-core is we are watching old man Bouch grow up right in front of our eyes into an old man.
Oh, 100%. And it's his defensive game. But the thing that I noticed not only about his defensive game, but his game in general, is his physicality. He is so willing to. You mentioned the too small. That led up from a scrum that he started ensuing. The amount of times I've seen this guy give the little
gets cross-checked in the mouth. Who was one of the first guys?
The only guy there. The only guy there. The little rabbit punches that Bruce gives up to. He has really matured. Yes, he has really matured into again the physical play into, and that's what he was missing. A lot of times during the regular season, when he was caught out, was because he lacked that physicality in that certain play. Guy buzzed by him.
Nathan McKinnon goal.
Exactly.
Against the Avalanche.
Exactly. He was way too passive. And now you're seeing the guy who goes, okay, you know what? I'm kind of a lankier build, a little stronger looking build, or at least I should be. Let's kind of use it to my advantage here. I already have this offensive shot thing going on. Let's figure out this defensive thing and physicality thing, too. I really like it.
One guy who I think is figuring it out right now, and he's hitting it. We posted a great video of me absolutely losing my mind on Instagram. Bag Milk, it's your boy. It's Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and he scores the third goal of the evening for the Edmonton Oilers. They're on the power play. They get their first and only PP goal of the game tonight, but they work it around. Rebound goes up Archer Sheloves, which I said it, dude. I don't think his rebound control is very great. There's Nuge, Johnny on the spot, and he's able to beat Sheloves and beats it. But Bag Milk, you're a Nuge guy, I'm a Nuge guy. Was the celebration on this arguably better than the goal itself? There's not much that gets me more jacked up than a fired up Ryan Nugent-Hopkins showing some emotion, showing off that pirate mustache, whatever thing he's got going on right now. Nuge feels like he's starting to heat up, at least offensively right now. He's obviously playing on that top line. This is a power play goal, but Bag Milk, take it away. That's your boy making big-time plays in a big-time moment.
Let me give you a little science here, Aaron, if you don't mind for a second. My boy Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is heating up right at the right time. Let's be honest. We all wanted a little bit more offense out of the kid earlier in the series. But over the last 5 games, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has 3 goals, 4 assists for 7 points, contributing in a big way. 1 goal on the power play. We're not talking about a PP merchant here. He's also getting the job done at 5-on-5 when he's on the penalty kill. Again, we talked about a perfect PK again tonight. The kid gets another multi-point night again tonight. 5 points in the last 2 games for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. He's woken up at the time we needed him most. He is on fire going into the 3rd round, and I couldn't think of a guy that I'm happier for because he was gripping the stick a little bit, especially in the LA series. He scored in that first game of the playoffs. Nothing up until later in the series, but he's catching fire at the perfect time. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and it has to feel good. He's from Burnaby, boys. He buried the Canucks in Game 7. The game winner.
In his home province, Percy Jackson just said, Nuge game-winning goal is poetic for the veteran Oiler. And Bagmilk just mentioned the numbers, 7 points in his last however many games there. Feels like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and he did it last year in the playoffs as well, the quietest point production you'll ever see. Just secondary assists, couple clutch goals, not even on the power play. You mentioned he scored some 5v5 in the series. The Nuge is huge, Brett.
I'm the biggest secondary assist proprietor of all time. To me,
they count the same, brother.
Well, they do, but to me, that really shows who set up the goal, who kind of really drove that play. I mean, you can have a third or tertiary assist.
Sometimes goalies get second assist, but I like it.
Yeah, true. hey, they moved the puck. But that's the exact type of guy Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is. And you mentioned that celebration. I think that encapsulated a lot of people's feelings towards Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and producing during the playoffs. You knew it was there. It was just a matter of time when it would come. And I get so nervous about the people who are like, it was just like 2017 with Jordan Eberle, and just get way too over the top. He's now peaked at the right time, or peaking, because he scored again tonight.
He's about to peak.
Yeah, I'm about to peak too.
All right.
Yes, he did great. He's doing well.
Dude, he's great. I don't ever want Nuge compared to a Jordan Eberle, because Nuge can do so many things. I call him the jack of all trades, master of some, because he can play center, he can play wing, can play power play, can be a play driver, can be the McDavid transporter, can kill penalties. Bagmilk, you don't need me to tell you, Nuge is huge. And then we enter the third period, where I think everybody went, shit, got to sit up my seat here for a little minute. I mentioned it. I was nervous because we've seen this movie before from the Edmonton Oilers, where they tend to take their foot off the gas pedal and let's just rip the Band-Aid off here. Let's watch Ryan McLeod make an absolutely egregious error in his own end and put the stick. You see Skinner over here to Vinny. Nice pass, Brett. Up to Ryan McLeod. Forgets he has to put his stick on the puck. I don't want to harp on it too much. Sure, it's one mistake in a game of many. There's things all over the ice, but that is hard to look at. It's hard to watch. Connor Garland gets it. Bang. Immediately beats Stuart Skinner. I'm not going to blame Skinner on that one. And I don't want to go too hard on Ryan McLeod, because he has been such a defensive stud so far in this series and in these playoffs as a whole. But Bagmilk, absolute backbreaker on that one.
Yeah, the old butthole started to pucker a little bit after this one went in, didn't it? Like, there's a couple of things I don't like on the play. Like, first of all, Vinny makes a nice pass to McLeod, who he thinks is going to clear, but then Vinny just kind of gets caught puck watching a little bit. You would have liked to see him move probably closer towards the middle of the ice a little sooner. Again, it's McLeod's error to make, but I'm being nitpicky right now. And then Ryan McLeod, he's been so good with the puck on his stick in a two-way capacity. He hasn't gotten the offense we want. Yes, we want him to hit more. Maybe I might lock him in a cage between the second and third rounds and poke him with a stick every now and then and anger him up some. But it was just a tough way to give up the first goal of the game, because up until that point, the Oilers were just nails and they weren't giving up anything outside of mistakes. Again, as we saw during the series, mistakes of their own doing. So I guess you kind of have to have one in Game 7 to get a little adversity. Nobody wanted it to be too easy, I suppose.
Nobody ever said it'd be easy.
Hey,
Nobody ever said it'd be straight. I said that on the mic, actually.
Yeah.
Hype man. Brett, nerves there, Ryan McLeod. It's obviously a mistake you can't make. And once again, Bagmilk said it there. We're going to nitpick. It's a Game 7 victory. I don't want to spend much time on this. What do you think?
I think.
All right, good point.
No, I think the biggest thing is mistakes are going to happen. That mistake came at a bad time. And it was funny because you watched it happen, and it was almost like the moment it came off his stick, you sat there and was like, oh, this is going to be a goal. And you kind of saw it coming along here. But again, my biggest thing is mistakes happen. It came at a bad time. I mean, you definitely sit, and if I'm not mistaken, I haven't seen the shift charts after the game, but I'm pretty sure he stapled his ass to the bench at the end, rightfully so. So, no, again, mistakes happen, bad timing, move on, learn from it. That's the biggest thing. You've got to learn from it.
And that's the last word. We're going to talk about that. We're going to move along from that until the next bad goal that we got. The Edmonton Oilers give up 4 and a bit minutes later. It's Philip Hronek. The Canucks win the faceoff draw. Quinn Hughes takes it down low. You go low. You go back to high. Philip Hronek blasted that one on net. Beat Stuart Skinner on there. And Bag Milk, I like that you mentioned earlier there a second ago, puckered up, because I wrote down in 3-2, my butthole sure puckered up for sure here. Back to you.
Yeah, I mean, if I had a handful of sand between the cheeks, I'd be spitting out diamonds by the end of this third period because the Oilers were just. They didn't make it easy on us, did they? The old ticker was pumping at that point, and just when that heroic goal went in, you go, okay, they're still up 3-2. There's still a lot of time left on the clock here. So I love to see the most important thing from this goal, I think, for me, was seeing Chris Knoblauch call the timeout. Just calm everything down. He didn't do it in game one, and I wish he would have, but he didn't make the same mistake twice. He called the timeout. He calmed the boys down, and they did a pretty good job closing the game out from there. So yeah, the goal sucked, but I also very much like the way the Oilers responded. They didn't fold the tent up like they did in game one, and that was a huge, huge difference from game one to game 7.
Pat and I have spent a lot of time together throughout this series. And in this game, I said, holy shit, man, he's actually taking the timeout. I yelled at you, Pat. You can't take them home with you. They're finally doing it. Such a weird discrepancy between like the NBA and the NHL. The NBA takes every single timeout they could possibly take. The NHL doesn't. I saw you just give it a nice point there because earlier in this series, the wheels were falling off. You could feel it. As I said, you've seen this movie before where Chris Knoblauch had the wherewithal, had the brain enough to say, hey, time it out. We're going to settle things down, and it worked.
And you mentioned earlier today that Knoblauch was probably outcoached a little bit earlier in this series, but I think that was the specific moment where you sat there and went, he's learned. Listen, he came in November, 12th? Turned this team around, but it's still going to be a rocky road here and there.
He's still a rookie head coach.
Yes, exactly. There's going to be learning experiences. Game 1 was a learning experience. Game 7, you have a 3-goal lead. Oh my goodness, what happened in game 1? You had a 3-goal lead. Guess what? They scored a couple quick ones, and you're sitting there going, "Oh my goodness, didn't see this team coming." Same thing happened in game 7. You're up 3-0 with what? 9 minutes left, whatever the hell it was, and they scored 2. 8:33, bingo. And they come back and score and bring it within a 1-goal game once again. You sit there and you're going, oh, what did I not do last time? What did I do right last time? Well, last time I didn't call timeout. I'm going to call timeout right now. And like we said earlier, out of that TV timeout, after that timeout, the Edmonton Oilers came out and played their strongest 4 minutes of the game. Well, maybe, but that second goal.
Shutdown 4 minutes.
As we mentioned, that second goal came with the 17th shot on goal, and Vancouver ended with 17 shots on goal. Not exactly a way to potentially tie a game, never mind to win a game.
Rest my case, Chris Knoblauch. You get the Jack Adams. Rick talking, you have to hand it over to one Chris Knoblauch. And people, it was close. It was scary. It was dicey. It was tense, whatever word you want to use. But it's over, ladies and gentlemen.
It's
in
over.
The words of Vince Carter, as the Edmonton Oilers defeat the Vancouver Canucks by a score of 3-2. Brett, you just mentioned the shots. 29-17 in favor of the Oilers. Stuart Skinner, 15 saves on 17 shots. Shilov's 26 saves on 29 shots. Both goalies. Save percentages always starting with an 8. Not the most ideal goaltending battle throughout this bad boy. Let me check right now. What are we at for likes inside the YouTube right now? 152 rookie numbers.
Yeah.
Gotta bump those numbers up. As I said, if this isn't our most liked episode of the whole season, then what am I doing here?
We're going to riot like Vancouver.
And
Sorry.
If you were with us earlier this year, as Pat, you mentioned, I forgot I dressed up like a clown, dude. This is sweet. This is a good moment for me. I didn't want to be done pregame. I didn't want to be done Oilersnation After Dark. I got a lot more takes to fire the people's way, and I'm happy I'm going to be able to do that again Thursday here from Greta. But let's move now to the good, the bad, and the oily, brought to you by Alberta Blue Cross. There's only one thing better than sharing memories, and that's making new ones. Alberta Blue Cross Travel Insurance protects your memories and more wherever travel takes you. Visit AB, not Aaron Bordato, ab.bluecross.ca/travel for more information. Just, right, we're doing this. You just see a group of my buddies walking in right behind. Hey, it's going to be a lit evening this evening. But tonight, once again, if you have some good, you have some bad, you have some oily, throw it in there. I know I got some DMs from a couple people just chirping the shit out of the Vancouver crowd saying, hey, that's going to be the oily this evening. So let's start with the good, Patrick, and I went with special teams tonight, as I said. Special teams weren't perfect. The power play went 1 for 2, but the PK went 3 for 3. I thought they were aggressive. What are they now? Can't remember the numbers. What, Canucks 0 for their last 13, something like that. Don't quote me on that. That's what your job is here in the chat. But special teams making special plays. It can be the difference in here. You call merchants all you want. Pat's behind there and he goes, "You like that? You gotta like that."
Thank you.
Little Tuesday. But Bag Milk, as I mentioned earlier, it's been up and down. Oilers power play round 1, red hot. PK red hot. Then they start to get scored on for a couple of games in a row. The power play goes ice cold. But tonight, both units showed up.
Yeah, and I think you got to give the Canucks a little bit of credit for the way they adjusted on the Oilers PP, especially in Game 5. They were all over them in Game 5 to the point where the boys couldn't even set up. I think that in the 5 power play chances they got something like 2 shots on goal in Game 5. The Oilers couldn't adjust in Game 6, but ultimately they didn't need to because they got 5 even strength goals, and that powered them to the win. Tonight, they needed the power play to come through, and they got it. The game-winning goal came on the power play when Ryan Nugent-Hopkins just kind of floated behind the coverage and found a way to sink it past Elovs. And you never know when the power play is going to have to get the job done for the Oilers. And tonight it needed that extra one. If they went blanked on the power play again, I mean, we're talking about probably an overtime game. So clutch power play performance. And we've already talked about the PK. They've just been so good. They are the best in the NHL currently on the PK. And that's pretty damned impressive for anybody who's watched this team for any length of time, because the Oilers were so shit on the penalty kill for years that the fact that they're coming through with clutch kills the way they are in the playoffs is almost astounding to me. And I don't ever want it to end. They're just finding a way to get the job done at both ends of the ice, and you'll love to see it. You fucking love to see it.
I fucking love it, Bag Milk. There's no other words I can use right now, and that's a good point. That's why you're the OG, and ode back to the 07 Decade of Darkness. I used to feel like an auto walk that we're going to get scored on. Brett, special teams are huge. Also, I'm just trying to think right there. Bag Milk mentioned overtime. I would have passed the fuck out if we did an Oilersnation After Dark after overtime or during that. I don't know if my heart would have been able to take that. I said need medical attention, but you know what doesn't need medical attention? Special teams, brother.
No, 100%. For me, I'm borderline cardiac, so it was a scary night for me. But no, I kind of want to echo what BM said right there. Is just I remember the days where Andy Sutton is on the penalty kill.
Shout out Liam.
That's why I saw. That's why I said it. I saw it. But you had some tough players on that back end, and I really do have PTSD from watching a lot of those penalty kills every single time. Almost, it's kind of in the back of my head. So it's almost poetic to see the Edmonton Oilers be able to win playoff games, Game 7s. With not only special teams, because I mean back then the Edmonton Oilers were kind of stacked with Taylor Hall or Jordan Eberle or whoever. Yeah, stacked. Those were our
term of that.
Top talent, whatever, baby. But it was you did not have that exact same thing. You had Nikita Nikitin on a 4x4 or whatever the hell it was. Well, Waz reminded me of that. It's just so poetic to be able to see the special teams power play, penalty kill, to go out there and win hockey games, and it goes into that 3-2, being able to win 3-2 games, being able to win 5-1 games, being able to win 5-4 games. It comes down to the special teams and being able to end it when you're able to.
Was Game 6 the only game that wasn't a one-goal game back, though?
Yes. Nope.
Yeah, I mean, it was the only one. So this was a series of mistakes, and who made the fewest and who executed better. And tonight it was the Oilers. They were so much better than the Canucks for 50 minutes of this hockey game that, I mean, yeah, it ended 3-2, but I don't even know if that's really fair to how good the Oilers played, because they were so good, especially as in a road game like this.
Dude, they were the better team. I mentioned coming into tonight, the Oilers were the favorites in this series for a reason. They're the favorites in this game for a reason. They had the better complete roster, even without injuries, especially with injuries. Pressure was on the Oilers, but they're battle tested. They've been in this position before. They've been in plenty of Game 7s. That's their third in the McDry era. 2-1, baby. That's the good for me as well. But with the good comes bad. And I think it's pretty fair to say it was that third period. I mentioned it. We sat outside. I pretty much predicted every bit of what happened in that third period. So many guys coming up to me, getting ahead of it. Peyton, he needs to learn, our BP social guy. If you do this in an Instagram clip one more time, I'm going to kick him out of Greta.
I did it.
No,
I did it.
no.
Bag milk. That is a crazy thing to do in that moment. Of course, we've seen the movie before. The Edmonton Oilers take their foot off the gas pedal. You could feel the ice tilting. You could feel the momentum shifting. They scored their first one, and I looked at Peyton, and I said some words I swear on this show. I can't repeat what I said to him on there, and I went, you better smarten up, buddy. There's a nice way to put that there, but Bag milk, the third period, a movie we've seen before. I don't want after a Game 7 victory spend much time on the bad because tonight's a great night, but that third period, that is something they are going to need to clean up. If you're going to play the Dallas Stars in round 3, they will end you if you do that in the third period.
100%. And there, Aaron, that's exactly why we were sending the Kobe Bryant gift back and forth. It's job's not finished. Nothing to be happy about after 40 minutes. Like, we watched the Oilers blow a 3-goal lead in the first game of the series. It's not like it doesn't happen before. So I very much maintained, I tweeted it out, second intermission, job's not finished. Just keep pushing forward. There was nothing to be happy about until the final buzz went. And damn it, we're lucky that we got that third goal on the power play at a clutch point in the period because the Oilers needed it. They took their foot off the gas a little bit too much in the third period, and they kind of settled into that zone defense that drives me nuts. And they were doing the run punt CFL style defending, and I didn't like it. So they needed that goal, but ultimately that's why you can't celebrate too much until the final buzzer goes and we look at actually punching our ticket through to Dallas.
Yep, Brett, take it from there. Sending links. We might have a special guest joining us.
Uh-oh.
He's a Cowboy.
Ooh.
Oh, you finally got into it.
But yeah, no, that kind of goes back to a lot of the things that we said is being able to shut down games. And whether it's tough to see Edmonton almost blow another 3-goal lead because it felt like in here it was a blown 3-goal lead. It feels like a lot of the problems that the Edmonton Oilers had earlier this year is being able to close out games. You are almost there, not only earlier this year, but past Oiler teams that has cost the Edmonton Oilers. Even take a look at the Vegas series last year. They had a lead in every single one of those games in the playoffs last year.
Don't remind me.
I know, but hey, that's also part of the experience.
Yeah, no.
And that, you know what? Funny enough, I was talking to my Uber driver about this on my way here.
That's combos you can have.
Absolutely. You learn a lot. But I said this has to be something that you're able to respond to with the experience that you have. You know that if you lose in 6 games, or if you're up in these games in the playoff series, if you're up, you have to close out these games. Because next you got Dallas. Next you got to kill it. So now you got to be able to, if you're up in those games, you cannot have this type of game in this type of 4 minutes.
That effort and that shit with the Canucks, you're going to get destroyed.
Yes.
If you play the Dallas Stars like that, which actually brings me to the Oily right now. And it's that we are moving on, folks. Final 4 feels good. As I mentioned, we got a treat to open up Oilersnation every day tomorrow. I got to cut together some bad memories spliced in with some new good memories because it's been all over the place this season. Tune in, 12:01 Mountain Standard Time. You don't even know what I'm talking about, but Tyler sure does. But it's moving on. It's been in the Final 4. This is a position the Oilers have been in before in the McTry era. How did it go last time? Well, we got absolutely worked. 4-0 sweep by the Colorado Avalanche. This is the point we're getting to. And shout out to my boy Pat, because the NHL works quick. And there's your schedule. White games means come down to Greta. Blue games means drop all your savings and go to Rogers Place with bag milk. We're moving on. This is what dreams are made. If you told me at the beginning of the year, 2-9-1, we were going to be a Final 4 team, probably would have told you to F off and get out of here, quit messing around with me, and I don't want to hear that right now. But this is the reality, bag milk. We're Final 4. We're moving on. Hello, Dallas Stars.
Just seeing that logo on the schedule is enough to make me angry. I'm old enough to remember The series against the Stars in the 90s and the early 2000s. I'm old enough to remember. Now, just seeing that logo makes my blood seethe. I'm so irritated already about seeing the fucking Dallas Stars. And all I want is for the boys to play their game, because when they play their game, they are going to be very, very hard to beat. And I would love nothing more than to get some revenge for a very young bag milk, probably about a 10-year-old bag milk, watching the Oilers beat the Dallas Stars.
Bag Milk, you're a little bit older than I am, but I'm a child of the 90s, and I remember all those memories. I gotta be honest, when you see that logo pisses me off way less than the original one with Mike Modano, Bill Guerin, Darian Hatcher,
Sergei
or
Zubov.
Eddie the Eagle Belfour.
Great guy.
Great mask.
Yeah.
Fucking hated that
Maybe
guy
not great
so
guy.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Good guy, but there's a lot of memories here. The Dallas Stars were clearly the best team in the Western Conference all season. They were able to make probably the most tested right now. They beat Vegas. They beat Colorado. I won't want to say handedly, but kind of handedly. This is a matchup on many realms that is going to stress me out for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, and I don't want to say it's similar because, A, it's the Western Conference Finals, but it kind of feels similar to,
Too many memories,
You know, and I have some for the Stars too in a sec, but it's kind of reminiscent of the Colorado Avalanche series where Edmonton's going in and they're not expected to do a lot. They have not had a
Are we the underdog now?
I think we're the underdog. I think we'll talk about that later, but I think we're
Betting
the
lines?
underdog. But I kind of wanted to echo what BM just said there. My dad sits there and goes, he still hates the Dallas Stars. One of my first NHL games was the Dallas Stars game, Edmonton Oilers, Dallas Stars. And I still remember the disdain that my dad has always had for the Dallas Stars. He calls
That's
me
a good man. That's a good man.
Yes, no, he calls me he's emotional about two things: my university graduation and the Edmonton Oilers winning the Stanley Cup. And one of the things that he always brings up is the Todd Marchand goal against. I guess I shouldn't be looking at you exactly. I should be. There we go, Todd Marchand. Todd Marchand goal, being able to move past the Dallas Stars after so many years of heartbreak. Hopefully, this is going to be a similar story to one of those.
Absolutely. You said it best. Todd Marchand, baby. And then a little update. That's why I love my chat. Throw down your like. If you love me, I love you. Let's like each other. Let's make it official. Let's get in a like relationship, but mistaken Mexican. The Oilers are plus 100 dogs. Hammer, hammer, hammer responsibly. 19 plus on Betway. Yep, I'm going to roll with that. Ryder says it best. We are just some dogs. Pat, give me a bark. Woo! That was like a puppy bark. And a good point that Owen points out here, 6:30 and 6 p.m. start times. Oh, yeah, baby. So that'll do it for the good, the bad, and the oily. Brought to you by Alberta Blue Cross, which means we now move to our hot and our cold performers. Throw them in the chat if you got them. You want to pile on the Vancouver Canucks? You go right ahead. You want to pile on the city? As I would love a live cam right now, like a live stream.
Oh, yeah.
Like
the
downtown
portal
Vancouver.
between Dublin and New York.
For the same reasons as what happened on that one as well. If you know, you know. But throw them in there if you've got hot performers. Mr. Burns, whoops, pressed the wrong one. Too many people in the chat. Hot performer equals Stu. We had the crowd going with Stu Chance tonight. For me personally, I'm going Dylan Holloway. And it's not just because he is a hot performer physically, because he was great on the ice tonight. I thought he had an extra jump in his step. Thought he had some good chances out there in that second line. They did their thing. Evander Kane, big body, laying it all over the ice tonight. Obviously, Nuge had a big goal. Bouchard, Brett, who do you got for a hot performer?
I might be stealing BMs here, but I'm going Cody Ceci. This was, again, not the guy that you had on your bingo card. Unlike you had Cody Ceci on your bingo card to go out there and perform. And again, we talked about the goal, but I think he was very solid defensively too. No glaring errors. Was very physical on puck carriers. Physical in board battles as well. And winning battles. Got the stick in great passing areas and shooting areas as well. Cody Ceci, just exactly, again, the type of player that you need to perform on top of your stars be able to advance to Game 7 or to the next round out of Game 7.
Buddy, you got to start looking ahead.
Yeah.
We made it past this.
Yeah.
Tomorrow will rise. The sun will rise. Bag Milk, who's your hot performer tonight?
I'm going to give it to my boy Nuge. Like, I think that he came up with a big goal on the power play at a time we need him. We already talked about him heating up as the series wore on. And I think that he's come through with some scoring, some secondary scoring at a time we need it. Like, look at who scored the goals tonight. It was Cody Ceci, it was Zach Hyman, and it was Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. The big boys didn't get their goals tonight, but they got some scoring from guys who needed to chip in offense in a game like Game 7 to make it get done. So I'm giving a little love for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Another 2-point night for the kid.
Yep, absolutely. I see people in here. Argyle, Hollywood. And then, of course, a little news. Rusty says it best. Bag Milk is on performing for the last 2 games. 5 points in Game 6 and Game 7 combined. Big-time players, big-time plays. Throw in some cold performers tonight because I simply just don't have any for the Edmonton Oilers besides Ryan McLeod, but I don't want to pile on the guy already. We've done it enough. So I'm going to throw it over to my co-host. Who's your hot performer tonight on the spot? Cold performer. Shit.
Cold performer. My cold performer are the Vancouver Canucks fans because all they do, they only have one chant. It's Skinner. And then they also like to toss in JT Miller like he forgot his name. So I'm going back.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shit.
And you know what? For about 50 minutes of that hockey game, I forgot they were even there.
Absolutely. Bag Milk, who do you got for an ice-cold performer tonight?
I'm going to go with my shitty fitness. I think that having my heart reach the levels it did, even though I did absolutely zero physical activity, is jarring. I feel like somebody should call a doctor on my behalf. And I generally want to call myself out. I think that I've been eating too many soft pretzels and not enough kettlebell swings or something of the like because my fitness was shit today.
Caesar in hand.
You know, that's a good point. And I'm like, yeah, my heart's getting out of control. I'm seeing some of the numbers, and I'm like, maybe I'll start working. I mean, I'll get in more shape. And then I'm like, wait, we have another month to go of this stuff. There's no way I'm getting more in shape. I'm only going to fall more out of shape. I like that one as well. People, if you're in the chat, let me know what your peak heart rate was on your smartwatch throughout this bad boy in this game tonight. So, Bag Milk, we move on to the third round. Hell of an evening. I know you're going to have some articles ready to go on Oilersnation.com, right?
Yeah, I'm going to work on it as soon as we wrap up this here after dark. I'm looking forward to people reading it. People are excited. I'm already looking at the traffic at Oilersnation.com, and people are flooding into the website just like they are into the chat here on YouTube for After Dark. So people are excited going to the Western Conference Finals again. And this time, I'm hoping the boys learned a couple of lessons because we've been there before. Didn't go very well. And I ultimately think that the Dallas Stars are a team that the Oilers can beat, but it's going to take a hell of an effort to get through them. But I'm excited. The Western Conference Finals are no gimme. And, of course, as we suspected, boys, everybody can now cheer for the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Shout out to Boston Pizza. Team up for the win, boys. We also got a text earlier, Bag Milk, from David Quadrelli in our group chat. I'll let you do the honors. What did he say?
Yeah, David Quadrelli is, as you know, the editor-in-chief of the Nation Network, but he's also a massive Canucks guy. And at 9:59 Mountain Standard Time, David Quadrelli put in our group chat, "Let's go Oilers." And also, go ahead, Aaron.
I said he did it with 4 exclamation points. I want to make that clear.
And in my private text to David Quadrelli, he asked me to send him an Oilers jersey. So I might see if we can't crowdfund a quick Oilers jersey to fire on over to David Quadrelli. Shout out to Big Dave.
I'm just texting him right now. You see it. You want an Oilers jersey? Buddy, I'll buy it myself. I'll send it over to you. You got to wear that on your show, Bag Milk. I love you. I appreciate you. I hope you're enjoying a nice, I guess, warm glass of red wine and that red wine lifestyle tonight. I appreciate you. I love you. I'm going to send you off. Do you have any final words for the fans?
For those who doubted that the boys could get the job done when they were down 3-2, I ask you this. First of all, look at yourself in the mirror. You slap yourself in the face. Where has your loyalty gone? Because hope will never die, friends. And as we go into Dallas, a team that is very, very good, there's no doubt. We must believe. We might manifest. We must manifest. And heading into the Western Conference Final, good vibes only.
Good vibes only, Bag Milk. I love you. I appreciate you. You have a great night tonight, and I'll see you tomorrow at the office, buddy.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. So he mentioned we're playing the Dallas Stars. The Dallas Stars play in Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas, including cowboy hats. So without further ado, let's bring him in, people. It's Cowboy Chris, live and in the flesh.
Well, hello, my boys. Howdy, mother lovers. We did it. We did it.
Brett, was that wildly loud in your ears like that was mine? And I'm not apologizing for it. Cowboy Chris, you weren't out at Greta tonight. You were at the house with the fam like a proper father, a proper gentleman. What were the vibes like in your building tonight? And scale of 1 to 10, where are your vibes at right now, buddy?
Oh, I'm going to start with the last question first. Right now, my vibes are at an 11 because there's always a little bit more than 10. But when we came right down to it, we had the family over. We're sitting on the back deck. I mean, I spent a lot of time with the perimeter, making sure that that house was beautiful. But it didn't matter. We were stressed out. We were stressed out until it was 1-0. Now we were a little less stressed out. Then at 2-0, we were even less stressed out. 3-0, high fives, eating a charcuterie board that my wife had made, a couple pizzas in the oven, life is good. And then what happens? They score. And you know what? Like Big Milk said, butts were tightening. Butts were tightening. Yeah. And that's okay. And that's okay. The fact of the matter is we got it done, and that is all that matters. I cannot even envision a day where I had to wake up tomorrow and we didn't win that game.
Chalmers, let me ask you this. A lot of spotlight on the size of Chris Noble's elephant-sized balls. I said earlier on the show tonight, but the decision to go with Stuart Skinner in Game 6 was questionable at best. I was scared. Nice. I love that. You ever seen South Park and they hop around on him? That's Chris Nobla coming over from Vancouver tonight. But Stuart Skinner dialed in Game 6. Once again, Game 7, did everything he needed to do. I want to ask you, where were you thinking when he was coming into the game in Game 6 and where we are now? I love seeing it from Nobby saying, down 3-2, back against the wall. You've been our guy all year, and I want you in the net because we live and die by the sword. Stuart Skinner, you're our go-to guy. You're our 1A goalie, and credit due where credit's due. Chris Nobla, you look like a fucking genius right now.
An absolute genius. I mean, we talked about it on the pod that it could go either way. If you make this decision and it goes wrong, the exponential value of that decision is so bad. And the fact is we don't have to worry about that anymore because it worked. It absolutely worked. We saw this clip of the boys not giving Stu love on the bench, and it was a clip, a little clip. But the fact is we know the love is there. We know the love is there. And me and Wanye, we talked about it. We said, you dance with the one that brought you. That is an old hoedown, back in the country type style. And they did it. They put him back in. He absolutely banged. He's playing great. Listen, let's not ignore the fact that he hasn't faced more than 20 shots in 2 games. That's fine. It's fine. We're not going to sit here and worry about the minutia of it all. He's doing what he has to do. He's making key saves. He looked tonight poised like he did in Game 3 in the Kings series, where you knew it was a Skinner game. He was square to everything. He was standing up. He was tall. It was fucking amazing. You looked at it. It built confidence in me, my family, my son, my dog, my ride. We build confidence there, okay, baby boy? And that's what he is there for. So listen, there's no question going forward. This is our guy. This is our guy.
Without a doubt, you're going Stuart Skinner every step of the way. I even thought if they went with Pickard throughout the rest of the series and they won, I still was going to start Stuart Skinner Game 1 as you put your best foot forward, and I think he has been the best foot forward. Chalmers, anything else stand out to you big time tonight? I thought Dylan Holloway was my hot performer. Nuge had a big game. Evan Bouchard is growing up in front of our eyes, being the
Needless to say, what JR says about, remember when JR was all against Bouch, it drove me nuts. I said, you know what? It's a give and take. Here's the give, here's the take. Here's the defense, but here's the offense. Here's the defense, here's the offense. And you know what we're at right now? We're way over here. We're way over here. We're falling on our chairs with so much offense. Okay? The other things that got me real hot, 6 to midnight, baby boy. Dylan Holloway, I said at the beginning, I said, this is going to be the Fernando Percenti. I was yelling, Fernando! Okay? He is electric right now. I cannot wait to see what he does. Here's another thing that I noticed tonight. You talked about Pickard, okay? He comes in. He does a job for Skinner. The end of the game, you might not have seen this because you guys are working. You're working. You guys are working hard, doing the Lord's work. But on the broadcast, Pickard and Stu had probably the most loving embrace I've seen, where Pickard gives him some of the, he goes, you fucking, and they are brothers right now, okay? This is a fucking brotherhood that this team has. All-time vibes in that room. I can feel it. I can hear it. It's happening, okay? When McLeod gave that puck away, there's people in the chat. They fucking don't like it. We get it. He's suffering right now. So what should we do? You know what we shouldn't do? Kick a man while he's down. What we do is we pick a brother up, okay? Do I think McLeod should be out of the lineup? No fucking way. No goddamn way. Do I like Carrick being in there? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Connor Brown, is that a bad penalty? I mean, yeah. What are we going to do? Okay? Let's just put it this way. We don't kick a brother when he's down, and that's what Pickard, Stu, nobody ever kicked Stu when he was down. He came back. This is the repercussions of that actions, and we get to go in the Western Conference Final. Can you hear me say it? I'm going to say it again. Western Conference Finals.
The Western Conference Finals.
I cannot wait, baby boy. And listen, we need them. We need this type of confidence going forward. We need it. And that's all I got to say about that.
I couldn't say it any better. Guys, give me a nice swig there, Chalmers. I love it every step of the way, Chalm. We love you. I'm Chalm in right now, and I see Mr. Burns just said in the chat, I want to sit next to this guy during the parade. I think they probably won't give us our own Oilers Nation float, but fuck it, we'll try and make one on our own. Chalmers will be on the top, riding it like the A-bomb, like the Anola A or whatever, with his cowboy hat up there,
up at the
bottle of rye in hand.
And I said I ran out of rye in the chat. Guess what? I didn't run out of rye. I was just fishing. You guys, I thought you were getting it. Come on now. Never done it.
I love it, Chalmers. You got anything else for the folks before I send you off on your way and we close things out here? Any message you want to send to the folks?
Every single person that I know was worried about where we would be in 5 hours from 3 o'clock. And this is where we are right now, okay? But it does not stop. It does not stop. It could have gone one way, but it went this way for us tonight, okay? So now we got work to do. Like I said, you just passed level 3 of an 8-level game. The Dallas Stars are no easier, okay? My kids, they were asking, we need to play Dallas. I can't play Colorado again. I can't play Vegas again because they got in their minds that we can't beat that team. But you know what? This is our hardest test coming up. And when we beat the Dallas Stars, when we beat the fucking Dallas Stars, you know what we do? We beat the Rangers and the Panthers. It's a constant battle. You never stop. You never give up. It never gets easy. And this is what we do as a fan base. We keep going. Baby, we got a road ahead of us. At least 3 more weeks. I mean, how many more weeks? 3 more weeks?
4.
Jesus Christ. Another month of this?
Late July.
I'm not very sure I can handle it, but that's fine. We battle because that's what we do. We battle.
Fuck it. We ball, brother. That's what we do. Chalmers, big shout out to you. Also, I loved your OJ voice. Came out there for a slight moment. It came out just a little bit.
You want me to say goodbye in it?
Yeah.
Say goodbye.
Yeah.
Here, I'll do a live. Hello, Oilers Nation. It's so nice to see you. Hey, I heard your Oilers just won the game. That is great. You guys sliced and diced them like the best of them with some Ginsu knives. Good luck against Dallas. I had a bad time in Dallas once with a couple hookers and an 8-ball, but that doesn't even matter. Can we say that on this? I'm not totally sure we can, and it doesn't matter anymore. Good night, Twitter world.
Chalmers, you didn't say it. Big shout out to
Whoa,
the
what happened?
live from the clouds coming down to join us at Greta. Chalmers, you never disappoint, and this hit was everything I wanted when I said during the show. I fucking love you, dude.
I fucking love you too, Brett. You look amazing. Hey, nobody bid on my tag team for you two. What's the tag team name for you two? You look like a WWF tag team wrestlers right now. Back in the day, like the Bushwhackers or like Legion of Doom. You look like, what do you think? What's your name?
You're Brett the Hitman Hart, but
Yeah.
like a poor man's version.
Oh yeah,
Sorry.
fat.
You said it, not me. You said it, not me. Hey, people in the chat, throw in this wrestling tag team duo name.
That's what I asked for earlier, but nobody bid on it. Anyways, I fucking love you guys. You do a great job. Pat Puff behind the scenes, amazing. JR, I fucking hate you. Love everybody else. Good night.
We love you, Chalmers. Over and out, brother. 10-4, we love you. And JR, when he references JR, is none other than Jay Downton, the owner of this entire company. So he said it, not me. That's what you get when you're going to bring Chalmers on. I wish you could see the grin on Pat's face right now because he does real life. He knows what you get when you bring Chalm in, literally Chalm in. He's still fucking grooving right now behind the scenes. Chalmers, I love you. Dayton says it best. Cowboy fucking Chris. Yep, absolutely. Good night to our boy Chalm. All right, let's move now to a quick Around the NHL brought to you by Boston Pizza. You know them, you love them. They want you to team up for the win because it's been 30 years since a Canadian team won the Cup. Brett, what's the only Canadian team remaining in the Stanley Cup playoffs?
I believe they reside in Edmonton, maybe.
Oh, you're fucking right. They do, baby. So if you want to hop on the bandwagon, I also apologize for how much we've cursed tonight, but I'm not actually that sorry. Is this what you're going to get? Greta, Game 7 win. They're playing Hollaback Girl in the bar right now, Brett. Ain't no, but is it their team or nothing, or could they team up under the right circumstances and get behind a rival? Grady, the Canucks conversation producer, texted me. He said, great series, guy. And then David Quadrelli also texted me. I said, do you want an Oilers jersey? He said, I actually just tracked one down. I don't need anyone to pay shipping. He's teaming up for the win. Shout out Boston Pizza, Brett.
Tomorrow's production meeting is going to be absolutely fantastic.
We do
yeah.
have a production meeting
We
at
do.
8 a.m. tomorrow.
8 a.m. maybe. It's
Yeah.
going to be even better.
Future me will deal with that. Liam has to pick me up so I can go to the office and pick up Frank's Mustang and drive it back to Sherwood Park. Hey, dirty job. Someone's got to do it. We know we're taking on the Dallas Stars. That is going to be Thursday evening at 6:30 p.m. It's an early one. Can't
I'm
wait
so
for
happy.
it. I'm jacked up for that. Maybe I won't be up. No, I'll still be up. I'm going to be up all night tonight as well. But we look at that. On the other side of the bracket, it's the Rangers and it's the Florida Panthers. Brett, shot of a cannon. Who wins that series? How many games?
New York Rangers in 6.
No, take your time, man.
I was trying to give you the lead back, but you were going for your cup, so you're welcome, I guess. No, I'm going to Florida, or I almost said the Florida Panthers. New York Rangers, because I think the Florida Panthers are not really getting tired a little bit, but you saw them flounder against the Boston Bruins there. Been writing a lot of baseball articles. I almost said the Boston Red Sox. So here we go. But no, I'm going with the Rangers. 6.
Joey, he's in the chat. He asked, where's my pregame shirt, Bordsy? It's on its way. It's on its way. That's the guy that lives in Germany, I do believe. And I sent him a shirt. Rebecca, she's also going to get a shirt going her way. Not a shit. Cowboy Chris. Look at that photo in there. That is absolutely electric. He just says, yeehaw. And Calvin Pickard said, Bordsy, Calvin Pickard, Oilers goaltender, says you don't need to attend that meeting tomorrow. For me, I think I've been flip-flopping all playoffs. I'm going to go with my original pick. I said I think the New York Rangers meet the Oilers in the Cup Finals, so I'll say that. But I'll say they win it in 7 games. It's going to be a close battle. Here you see the tail of the tape. 8-2, 8-3. This one's going to be fun to watch. The Oilers Stars is going to be fun to watch. Can't believe it, brother. 4 more weeks left, and we are still in this madness. We are in this bracket. Let's now move to our Betway look ahead, courtesy of Betway. 19 plus, please play responsibly, because with Betway, you can win a free bet up to $200 if your first bet loses. All you got to do, create a new account, scan the QR code that's about to be on your screen, join the action, redeem your bonus, place a bet, no minimum amount required. And if that bet loses, knock on wood, brother, you will get a refund up to $200. Yeah, that's actually, there you go.
That's
You can do that. Whatever. They can't see it, but you ruined it. You can then use that money to bet on your favorite sports. But unfortunately, this offer is only available outside of Ontario. Brett, Betway, look ahead. It's Thursday. You know what I'm going to ask? Score prediction, anytime goal scorer, Oilers Stars, game 1.
I say Edmonton rides their high from game 7. Dallas had a little bit of a lull right there. Edmonton wins 4-1. And guess what?
Vinny Desharnais gets his first career NHL playoff goal. We finish each other's sentences. We spent so much time together. Blah, 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 blah. You see it here on your screen. Edmonton Oilers with a plus sign next to their number, plus 110. Hammer, hammer, hammer. I think the Oilers are going to win that one, obviously. But I've now sat here for 5, 6, 82 plus 11, 93 games. I predicted one loss just because I didn't want to completely be biased. But you know what you get with Bordsy. I'm going to say 4-3 Oilers victory. You know what? Fuck it. We start off with a tough one. In overtime.
Ooh.
I'm nervous to see some Jake Ottinger, and it's bittersweet. But if you followed along all season, I love Sam Steele. I grew up with Sam Steele my whole life. I'm going to cheer for him. But no, I'm not. Who am I even kidding? No, I'm going to send him a DM later.
Yeah. Hey, Aaron.
Hey, Brett.
If I would have asked you after 2-9-1 that the Edmonton Oilers would be sitting here in the Final Four heading into the Western Conference Finals after a Game 7 second round series win
against a team that beat us 4-0 this season,
yeah, what would you say?
I probably would have told you to fuck off, and I didn't want to hear any more about it because, especially at that point, if you were, dude, it's so awesome. You can't enjoy sunny days without rainy days. Those were borderline hurricanes at 2-9-1. You lose Jay Woodcroft. You make some serious changes, and felt like it's been a new day ever since. I appreciate every one of you that's been in the chat throughout this journey. Roller coaster doesn't even do it justice.
I have one more thing, and I've been preaching this all playoffs. The 2012 San Francisco Giants, they entered the World Series. Well, the postseason. No, listen.
I'll hear you.
You have to understand the science of sport. The science sport doesn't matter if it's baseball, football, hockey, lacrosse, doesn't matter. I'm missing a sport there, basketball. It doesn't matter what sport. It is the science of sport. In 2012, the San Francisco Giants started their postseason season down 0-2 against the Cincinnati Reds. In baseball, in the first series.
Is that Tim Lincecum?
It was Tim. Also, Matt Cain as well. In baseball, if you lose 3 games, best of 5, you're eliminated. The first series, San Francisco Giants went down 0-2. They won 3 in a row to win the series. The following series, they went out to St. Louis. They went down 3-1. They came back and won that series in 7 games. And then guess what happened? In the World Series, the San Francisco Giants swept the Detroit Tigers in 4 in a series that a lot of people didn't think they would win, despite the fact that they faced 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 elimination games. That's a resilient team. You know who else is a resilient team? From 2-9-1 to a 16-game win streak to being down 3-2 in the series and winning a home game and an away game in Game 7. Your Edmonton Oilers, who move on to the Western Conference Finals.
I had no idea where you were going with that, but I trust you so much. I went, just give him the rock, let him make a play. You made a play right there, brother. I like how you bring that back in, and the only way that I can bend this now, nice, my brother's in here, who's laughing at us now, suddenly, like after game 1, there's way less Canucks fans in the chat right now. I got Canucks Army, and I love them. Grady, Quads, you guys are absolute beauties. It was a tough series. There was a battle all throughout. The Oilers, I predicted them to win. Didn't have it in 7 games, but I lost it here now. Oh, there's a good one for Mr. Burns to end it. We're only an 8-game heater away from solving all our problems. Couldn't have said it any better myself, Mr. Burns. Halfway there, halfway point. I love it, Brett. Big shout out to you, to Pat himself, Bill, the manager here at Greta, putting on a great event, and of course to our sponsors, Sherwood the Giants, Alberta Blue Cross, Greta Barrier, Betway, Boston Pizza. I'll see you here Thursday night, 6:30, pregame at 5:30. Rest up. I should take my own advice, but that is not what I'm going to do tonight. I'll see you at that 8 a.m. meeting, and I'll see you all tomorrow, 12:01 Mountain Standard Time, right here on the Oilers Nation YouTube to celebrate a Game fucking 7 victory. I'll see you then.